Welcome. I beg your pardon. Welcome back to the real-time newsroom. We're now crossing to the eastern side of the country, where a reporter brings back this story, and this speaks into the ECZ holding a meeting with traditional leaders. A good afternoon to you, Samuel.
Good afternoon, Malama. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Tommy, the ECZ meeting with traditional leaders today, how many traditional leaders were in attendance, and what were the conversations, especially following or leading up to the by-election that is happening on the 22nd, I believe, of June?
Well, thank you so much, Malama. As you may be aware that there are by-elections which will be happening here in Lumezi constituency, and Electoral Commission of Zambia always has a roadmap during as well as after the elections have been conducted. And suffice to mention that it's very peaceful here, and it's very calm. So the exercises which the Electoral Commission of Zambia have been conducting have continued. We had an engagement with the young people who are the youths. We also had an engagement with the women. We also had an engagement with political parties. And today, the Electoral Commission of Zambia is meeting all the 6 chiefs from Lumezi district. We have Chief Zumwanda, Chief Mwasempangwe, Chief Chikomeni. We also have Chief Tungulu, Kazembe. All these traditional leaders are here to ensure that they get what is their role in the electoral process as we go to the by-election. And very of paramount importance is that all these traditional leaders have come with their headmen. So we have all the village headmen also here, and they're indunas. Now, this is to make sure that they don't, go against the electoral code of conduct. You may be aware that there is an electoral code of conduct which every stakeholder getting into the election must abide to, and that is very important for confidence as well as trust in the electoral process of our democratic system. And what is happening here is that the Electoral Commission of Zambia are doing presentations to these, traditional leaders. One of the issues which the Electoral Commission of Zambia has been able to talk about is that all these leaders, the headmen and the chiefs, are not supposed to be partisan in the manner they are going to, allow these political parties who are campaigning to, 53,471 registered voters of Lumezi. They need to be able to accommodate everyone, because their authority is not that of being elected, but instead give guidance to all the candidates who will be participating. Moreover, these are their people, these are their, candidates who are coming from their chiefdoms, and they should be able to provide leadership and make sure that they curb political violence. You may be aware that political violence, gives, less confidence in the system. Hence, this is a proactive stance which the Electoral Commission of Zambia is able to do, so that going into the electoral process up to the 26th of June 2026, when we have the poll, we have incidence-free electoral process. So apparently, this is what is happening here, and they'll be able to be given an opportunity to share what are some of the issues which the Electoral Commission of Zambia should be able to attend to, but also what are some of the burning issues which them, as traditional leaders, they should be able to address to ensure that we have a credible electoral process.
But what were some of the concerns then also coming from the chief themselves? Did they, or were they also accorded an opportunity to speak?
Well, as we're speaking right now, we've never had, at that point where traditional leaders, the chiefs, have spoken. But what we have right now is the presentations which are going on. But later on, we'll be able to get reactions. And this also happened in Petauke, where we saw. But most of the common issues which come out in such meetings have been issues of political violence, but also issues of village headmen being partisan, and all those issues have been coming out in these meetings. But also, you understand that lack of information has been a major challenge in terms of, them understanding what really is their role in this particular process as we go towards the campaign, as well as the poll day. So with this, proactive stage or process which the ECZ is doing, I think they've been able to understand what where does their role go in terms of when it's campaign. For instance, the political parties and the candidates, they came up with an electoral campaign timetable. It is the role of the traditional leaders to ensure that people who are going there are following that particular schedule, and if they are not being followed, it is also within their mandate to ensure that they ask them to follow that, so that we prevent a possible clash between political parties. Those are some of the issues which they are being told right now, and I'm sure that this information, I think, will be very, very much important to them, and we'll be able to get what are their challenges, what are issues which will be coming forth before the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and how they can be able to be addressed. So that is the stage where we are right now, but I'm hoping and I'm very optimistic that a number of issues will come out, and all the stakeholders will be able to agree and see how we can go forward in terms of making sure that the entire process is free, fair, and credible.
Now, just speaking of political violence, Samuel, have the investigations into the violence that did take place in Lumezi, have we seen any conclusion? Have the police spoken into that?
Well, we have no conclusion yet as regards to that political violence which happened on the nomination day at the trading center. But we had an update from, I think 3 days ago, from the police commanding officer, Mr. Robertson Mwemba, who was able to update us that investigations were still ongoing, and at that particular time they are looking into what are some of the people who might have been involved. We understand that one person was arrested and also was in custody, and we are reliably informed that he was released on bond, and that is part of the investigations which are ongoing. You remember also the commissioner had hinted to us about a gunshot which was experienced on that particular day, and investigations are still going on that particular case as well, because it has not yet been established who indeed was able to fire that particular gun. But right now, what we've been told by the police is that investigations are ongoing, and at an appropriate stage, they'll be able to update us whether they were able to arrest any people involving the violence itself, as well as the gun which was shot on that particular day. So we'll be able to give these updates as events are unfolding going forward.
Right. Well, Samuel, thank you so much for giving us insight into this meeting that is being held between the ECZ and traditional leaders.
Thank you so much for now.
Thank you. We're going to take a short break. On the other side, we continue to look into stories that continue to